Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Alright, let's talk about this. I honestly feel like if this show was going more in the direction consistently with this type of storytelling, I think the show would have had a little bit better um, outcome than it already has. I mean, sure, I think there's people out here that actually really love the show, and there's people out here that really hate the show. And the people that hate it are definitely more vocal than the ones that love it. And to be fair, this episode had the only time when I thought they were actually going to do something, good for a character in the sense of allowing one guy to get his revenge on some people who straight up did some animals here ridiculously dirty. Not only do they do them dirty, they then film it to make money off of it. Like, what are they? I'm not even gonna say his name because I might get exiled. and, but to think that they're filming these types of things and getting views and making money off of it just goes to show you that everything that really starts to happen in this world can be translated in ways that authors and just people in general are disgusted by it, and they want to show you that even if you do it to something that's not human, something that's you know supposedly a monster on a different continent that we never met before, it's still disgusting, to see it. And then they brought up the fact that, oh, you eat chicken, so you're disgusting. You're a hypocrite. It's like, well, I eat chickens, but I don't set their coops on fire and film it laughing and then not eat any of them and just, let all that go to. Like, what do you mean? How are you trying to put me on the same level as you? So it was a really good, like, little argument that they had within the show. Not only, like, that they, had the person persevere in the overall end by coming up with, I'm gonna just kill these people. Like, they should just die for what they've done. And we a lot of people would agree. And so with our main character pretty much feeling the same, but at the same time seeing what type of man this guy was, in the case of, we started out seeing him, supposedly getting roughed up by some two-headed looking dragon, but really he's literally getting tickled by them and they're having fun messing with them, and he's out here literally trying to help certain types of monsters. Uh, I mean, he's not literally, I want to say, messing up the ecosystem. Like, he's making some stronger than the others by helping them, and then if he leaves, they would not have that same type of support, so they might die a lot quicker. But it's a very, very interesting concept to see someone who is just 110% for these animals. I can't even call them like monsters or whatever because how this guy just feels about it. It was just a powerful way of telling certain aspects of sides of people's stories in this type of environment or whatever, in this type of animation and manga. So I don't know. I really appreciated that. The other thing that was really cool was just how he stopped him. Like, he let him go as far as, he literally had almost the determination to end it. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna body you. Like, I'm just gonna stab you, and that's GG. But no, he gets stopped, and to be fair, to think that, again, he's been telling us, how he feels about certain aspects of people, and, he told us what happened to the first animal he's had, all these different things, and yet he just continues to sometimes blow the expectation of what he would do if he ever got the chance of seeing someone to suffer like he would. He never really wants that for them, and I think that's one of the better ways of just showing his humanity through a smaller lens, and not like just outright saying like he's a humane person. He's very, very nice. He just does it without really asking for anything or telling anyone why he's doing it. You just kind of have to go with the flow with them, and I appreciate that aspect of this show and that aspect of the character. I do really wish these like events were much like, I don't know. I guess you can't really make a long, you know, outstanding story and make it like an arc out of just a guy who's mad about a tree that got burned down and a whole entire continent of monsters that could absolutely, fart and accidentally kill you, So there's not, I don't know. There's really not much I could say on how they're delivering everything when it hasn't ended yet. Like if they end this season and the end all be all final episode is just something goofy, or it could be something even semi powerful, like this week's episode, and I still don't think a lot of the audience that's been very vocal about how they feel about this show is still gonna enjoy it. I don't think anything that they've shown so far, besides maybe the first episode's fight where someone's absolutely beast level and gotten a super amp, and he still gets slapped around like a doll. So something like that was absolutely hyped to start it off with. To think that it went from that to, saving a day with marshmallows and stuff like that, it really gives me the feeling of like a Radiance, like a One Piece, like something goofy instead of always being settled by punching, kicking, shooting, uh, killing and stuff like that. There's different ways you can handle these things, and that's pretty much all I felt from this show was kind of going in the distance, and sometimes it just didn't do it as well as I guess people may have wanted it to, or it just might have felt too dull. I don't know. Let me know if that is some of the reasonings why you guys are disliking it, because this episode was very straightforward with having a guy who wanted to protect, these animals that pretty much fell out of a tree, and because they fall out of the tree, it's almost a wrap for them. Like they have a 10% chance, or maybe like a 20%, and with the whole entire tree burned down and gone, it goes down to a 10%. So uh, it's a very sad way of seeing like hard living, like they don't really have a chance against anybody who shows up and tries to eat them or anything like that. But when they grow up, they have their beast, So it's one of those really cool moments in this show. I think that they got to showcase that there was a good amount of potential in some of these like overall narratives and stuff, but they just really didn't give, I guess, what the audience fully wanted, or some people enjoyed it and it's just not for others. Let me know how you guys are feeling, or what side of the spectrum you're on. But overall, this was definitely like a 6 out of 10 for the message and everything. It's still the same character and how he's treated every situation, almost like, half caring, but at least doing everything in his powers to keep people from losing who they are and stuff along those lines. Um, Not to mention the fact that whoever he kind of starts to allow into his life sometimes becomes mainstay characters who want to help out in the future. So always keeping my eye out for which characters show up and can bring him some type of benefit. If not, he can benefit them later in the future. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I apologize for these couple of days of videos coming out in the random periods. E3 was wild with Avengers actually showing up and giving us little tiny bits of gameplay, but I'm hoping by the time I'm saying this around 7 or 8 o'clock Pacific time, the specific, shut up, over on the West Coast, I'm really hoping that we get to see some gameplay, kind of like we did with Dragon Ball, where Dragon Ball drops this huge trailer where they do have gameplay, but they didn't have any UI and showing you like what the combos may look like, how much HP these enemies have, stuff like that. And next thing you know, IGN got an exclusive look at gameplay. So if we can get something like that, my god, I would be mighty happy. So with all that being said, everybody, I hope you have an amazing one. I'll definitely be making videos tomorrow. I do have another show I wanted to do, but If I really get some time to watch the show, I'll definitely drop it, but I might just drop it tomorrow. So with all that being said, I hope you have an amazing one, and I will definitely talk to you tomorrow. All right, peace.